Coming up on this episode of Solution Based Community presents The Get Together, the first date representative.
My first sneak out date was to the movies and everything, and the boy tried to kiss me in the movie theater, and I got scared and I punched him.
I did well. Like my first date, I was a gentleman. But come to find out, she wanted Pretty Ricky.
Like one of the coolest things my stepdad ever did. We in the backseat huddled up, and this guy gonna throw on the R. Kelly Body's Calling joint, and I'm like,
taught me like, oh, a guy's supposed to pay for your date. All men cheat. You have to make sure. Straight up, to this day.
The behavior is men will chase for the punani. It will do anything until they get the punani. Once they get it, then it's a wrap usually, unless they love you.
So some people are in a phase where it's like, oh, I'm just dating to have fun. And other people are like, okay, well, I'm dating because I'm at a place in my life where I want to settle down with somebody.
Someone out there listening to what we've spoken about will have the potential to improve dating experience. You got the temperature rising.
We got a full house tonight.
Yeah, we do.
hey, there go my baby.
Yeah,
cousin.
we do.
Hey.
Beautiful blackness in the building. There it is. There it is.
Yes.
Won't he do it? I said, won't he do it?
I see them glasses is fitting nice. Welcome once again to another episode of the Solution Based Community Podcast. This is The Get Together. I'm your man, King King, and I'm here as always with my brother, the Elder Herb. What's good, bro?
Peace, King. What's up with you, brother?
Coolin'. And of course, Miss Milk Chocolate Melanin herself, the brown girl. What up, Queen?
Hey, guys, what's going on?
Yeah. Now, today's topic is one that we've all fallen victim to, the first date representative. Now, how do we break through the facade to improve the dating experience in our community? And to get into that, we got some great community members with us. First off, this community member, this young lady is a logistician for the United States Army, Dana Betts.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having
Peace,
me.
Queen, what's up? All right, the next community member, we got this good brother right here. The Elder Herb has been trying to get on the show for a minute, and he is finally here. Ira Parker, what's good, my brother?
What's going on? What's going on, Kings? What's going on, Queens? Let's do this.
Cooling. All right, now, after this, I kind of feel like this is a family affair right now for me. You know what I'm saying? We got one of my two best friends in the whole world, and one of the ladies that came and put it down on the Too Much Sex episode, making it the fastest growing episode we have on the podcast. Tula Godwin. What up, family?
Tula, what up?
And hey.
Yeah. And we got my beautiful baby cousin on here. She is a radiation therapist that treats cancer patients, and that is all she has cleared me to say.
Hey, y'all.
Michelle Denson, what's up, cousin?
Hey. Peace, Queen. Peace.
Gotta respect that.
Absolutely. And last but not least, we got my sister, Rosita Chiquita Juanita Chihuahua.
Bye.
My little genius sister, the medical expert, Juanita Henry. What's up, Applehead?
What's good?
What's going on, Queen?
I was trying to fix it.
It's a pleasure to have you back. It's a pleasure to have you back on.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Now, just a reminder that you can catch this and every episode of the Solution Based Community Podcast on our new website, www.solutionbasedcommunity.com. Log on and check out all the content, all the videos, or hit the links and tune in on your favorite podcast platform. Herb, my brother.
Peace. What up?
You remember your first date?
I actually do not. As an elder,
I'm not surprised.
Get things.
That's some old head shit.
That's really some old
I
shit.
am not
But
surprised.
listen, I remember a couple of I don't know. Do I remember? I always was the type of motherfucker. I would try. You know what I mean? I was a trier. You know what I mean? I would try to do some shit that other people didn't do. Like I would show up, with a rose and shit like that. But I would do it with girls who didn't want the fucking rose. That was the thing. I didn't know how to assess the situation. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean, dog.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, because when I was coming up, right, I can't really remember my exact first date. Like I remember my first kiss, but I can't remember the first date. But I remember there are specific things that I lacked because I didn't have the father tutelage. So I did not.
Whoa, stop. This shit got the end, man. This shit got the end. Every time, what the fuck is this tutelage shit? And this shit got the end, though. It got the end.
You know he be pulling up words right before the show.
God, man.
You gotta Google that.
Yeah,
Oh,
tutelage. But all right, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
I did not
He did not have a father figure to
I
teach
did not have
him.
a father figure to teach. All right, the tutelage. I did not have that. I did not have the father figure to teach me that there was a difference between these girls that didn't really want that and these girls that really did want that. You know what I'm saying? To me, my mama told me I'm a gentleman. I got to be a gentleman to everybody, everywhere, all over the place, and I just got to be the nice guy from start to finish, everything, everywhere. But you know, she didn't tell me
that's
about
the same shit over here, King.
You're gonna need a backbone sometimes. You ain't gonna have
that's the same shit.
You can't do that.
That was the same shit. I can say that, but without all the tutelage shit, I can say, you know, I can say that. I can say that. Go ahead.
Nah. But that was one of those things that I had to learn. You know what I'm saying? When I was talking about on the role model show, you know, the episode that we did, I took things from different places. Like my whole first real set of trying to kick game was all Stefan Urkel, straight from Family Matters. That was my whole spiel, the whole thing, yo. Like every time somebody said something, like when Laura said something, he was dropping it, turning around, making it turn into a compliment. That was all I did the whole time.
And he was trying to run game.
That's all I knew. That's why I was like, okay, well, he had Freddie Jackson come down the steps and Laura melted when he said something slick, and that's what I should be doing from here on out, because the girl melt when he said Freddie Jackson stuff. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna say some Freddie Jackson stuff.
I'm gonna
say some Freddie Jackson stuff, and then that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, that might have been a little cornier than my shit. I ain't even gonna lie to you. That might have been a tad bit more cornier.
Yeah, well, it got me into a lot of trouble. I'll tell you that much.
I got you.
Sure.
I got you.
Mine was sweet. My first date was it was my dad. My dad took me on my first date.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
See, that's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Keep my sister away from me. My key da. Yo, that shit was that was emotional as hell just now.
It was.
I didn't want the room to get quiet because we'd have started tearing up here. That was a beautiful thing you just fucked up the whole podcast. You really did.
He was trying to level set for it. Like I was only like 11 or 12.
Yeah.
And I put on, like, my mom helped me get dressed and everything. And me and my sister were twins, so he took us out separately.
I forgot you was a twin. That's right.
Yeah. So, you know, got a little hair done and everything. He was out. He was home. And then he walked outside the house, knocked on the door, and had little flowers for us and took me out to dinner and did everything that a gentleman is supposed to do to level set what should be done during a date.
That's fly.
And he did it every year. But then he laid the level of, you know, you can't date until you're 17, right?
Wow.
So let me just tell this to you 6 years earlier.
Yeah, this is how you should be treated, but we ain't gonna let you date nobody till you're 17. So then I had to sneak. So it was that. My first sneak out date was to the movies and everything. And the boy tried to kiss me in the movie theater, and I got scared and I punched him.
Oh.
See, but that's dope that your dad kind of already set the bar for you. So I think that's important. Like for me, I didn't have a father figure, so going into the dating world, I didn't know what was right, what was wrong, what I should accept. You know, when I should, send somebody to the left. Like I was all over the place. But so that's dope.
I'm gonna get on Keen about that. He's supposed to have told you that.
You know, he be in his own world.
That's her older brother. You know what I'm saying? My other cousin. I'm gonna get on him about that.
But do older siblings really teach their younger sibling, especially the girls, how to date out in the world?
Yes.
You talking about?
My brother's on camera right now, so definitely yes. The answer is yes.
Really?
My brother not only broke down about dating, but also the game that I should watch out for, but also just being naturally just understanding, like, how dudes could be, I hate to say it, but dudes and females, I want to say both because I don't want to exclude, but coming from that male perspective to the female perspective for me could be, kind of predatory, and not knowing exactly how to maneuver it. Are they being genuine? Aren't they being genuine? What are the signs to look out for? My brother was very big on making sure that I understood that. 100%.
Nice.
And
how many years apart are you guys?
2.5. We're 2.5 years apart.
Yeah. And I also made it a point because my sister was a ruffian anyway. So I wanted to make sure that she knew stuff, but I also really just didn't worry because she punched somebody in the mouth quicker than I would. I've seen it happen several times. You know
this is why I'm a therapist now, y'all. I had to get control of it.
Yeah, she had to get control of that.
Catch it.
It was funny. I remember dudes used to call like my homies. You know what I'm saying? My sister's gorgeous. You know, and back in the day, I had friends calling the crib trying to disguise their voice because they didn't want to say nothing. I'm like, go ahead, try if you want to. She ready. You know what I'm saying? Like, hello, can I speak to Juanita? Like, yo, Jay, this you? Yeah, man, my bad, man. She gave me the number, dog. Like, yeah, hold on. You sucker. Like, go right ahead. You know. What about you, Dana?
So my mom actually put me on game when I was younger. She's like, this is what a guy, because I didn't have a father figure either. So she didn't even get a boyfriend until I was like 17. So she was like, this is what you need to accept. This is what guys are supposed to do, how they're supposed to treat you. And then she gets a boyfriend and doesn't do any of that. And I was just like, well, okay, I guess do what I say, not as I do. So even still growing up, like having my mom tell me that, like, okay, I need to accept it, but still not seeing what it looks like, it's difficult. Cause like you can tell me one thing, but I kind of need to see what that looks like. Cause I need to know how to maneuver certain situations. And if you can't just give me the instructions, I need to kind of see it out. I'm a visual learner, so I need to see it. You need to lead by example with me. So it was kind of tough, like trying to, I'm 28, and I still am like, I don't know if this is right. It doesn't seem right, but I don't know. At 28, you would think you figured it out. But if you don't have that role model growing up, you just kind of like shooting in the dark. So I can only pray that when I have kids, I can, you know, their dad can teach my daughters and I can teach my son something, because I'm shooting in the dark here.
That's major. That's a major spill right there.
Yeah.
I remember like what King was saying and Juanita was saying, I remember me like just sheltering my sisters from, Ira knows my sisters, Ira knows me. And I would shelter my sisters away from boys and spoil them with things. And I remember when my sister that's right up underneath me first got a boyfriend, I cut all the gifts off. That was my way of saying, yo, I'm upset. And at the same time, I was like, you know, it's a whole mess. I won't, you know, tell the whole fucking story because I might incriminate myself. But but no, I would really put the hammer down on certain shit. And that father figure thing. I don't know about no tutelage, but I tell you what, the father figure thing, I do believe is very important when I'm watching shit. And you know what I mean? And even with me, you know, on my first date, it's like, all right, well, what the fuck do I do? It, like King said, I'm watching TV. I'm watching what these dudes is doing. I'm seeing what, you know, Bobby Brown, you know, doing his thing. And I'm talking, you know, I'm doing like that. Even, I will tell y'all this. Even the bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks inspired me on how to do. No, these are factual things. This is a factual statement. You know what I mean? My music and the popular music that I was listening to actually fathered me too. We explained on the role model episode, the streets raised me. That's who raised me. That was my father. My father was the street. So, all right, I was emulating shit like that I would see on the street. The thing is that in the back of my mind, because my mom's raised me, because my grandmoms was around, because I had two little sisters, some of the shit that came out of my mouth towards women didn't feel right. So I'm gonna leave it right there. And Mr. Tula, I'm gonna ask you, do you remember your first date?
I do. It was like kind of a little bit on the sneak side. So my birthday is in, you know, the day after New Year's, and my mom had this rule that I wasn't allowed to date until I turned 16. So I was 15 and it was like the day after Christmas. And I didn't really think of it as a date. It was like one of my best friends at the time and the guy she was dating and his friend. And so we went out to the movie and the night went horribly wrong. We ended up separating and it was like we ended up going our own separate ways, and then we were supposed to be back and they were nowhere to be found. So he like dropped me off at the house And I got there and she wasn't home. And I was like, oh my God, this is a miracle. I'm not going to get in trouble. And then the phone was over at my friend's house because she decided she was going to pick me up instead of having me walk over. And it was like a disaster. And it was like, oh, you're not 16. You know, your birthday's not days. And it was a whole big thing. But
you was fresh.
Off guard, I was the ugly duckling. I was a late bloomer. I had the thick glasses and was just like, the real, the Christian school girl that didn't know anything about anything. So any other person probably would have saw the setup and been like, okay, this is not right. But I was like, oh, where are we going? We going to the movies. All right, I'm there. Yeah.
Oh, I want to jump in. I want to tell my first date. I really do, because it's a very interesting dynamic that happened that I don't know if it happens. I'm sure it does. It has to occur. But my first date, I was in 4th grade, and a kid named, I won't say his last name, but Ricky was his name. And we all lived in this complex. And what Ricky decided to do was he talked to his parents, and our parents got together and coordinated this date for us. So I got dressed up in this cute little black and fluorescent green dress, probably one of the only times I ever wore a dress and wanted to. And he had on like a little suit kind of thing. And he picked me up. He brought me flowers. We walked to his house. The parents were there. They helped him cook a meal. Literally helped him cook a meal, and they kind of like sat to the side, in their little space, and we were able to have dinner, and we had like a formal fancy dinner. And
that is so cute.
He also gifted me, he made ceramic, or like this little pottery, this bear that I had forever, and my slippers that I had forever, these glass slippers that he made ceramic wise that he gifted me. And I kept them all the way up. I think I still have them in storage somewhere. It's been a minute since I looked, but that was our story. And then, we walked back. He walked me back to the house, but our parents had coordinated it. It was pretty neat.
Do we know where Ricky is?
Oh, so cute.
Out of curiosity,
Yes,
I'm just asking for a friend.
I do know where Ricky is in the world today. Yeah, I definitely do. Cool dude, man. It set the bar. I think it set the bar. And I think I love the fact that our parents worked together to say, you know what, they want to make this happen. Let's show them how a real date maybe should go. And they teammates.
Yeah. I want to shout Ricky out right now. Hey, listen, all the Rickies of the world, I appreciate y'all. Seriously, I really do.
I don't.
Listen, this is why I'm gonna tell you, I appreciate Ricky. You know why? Because they really didn't want Ricky. They wanted me. The motherfucker who is I'm just joking. But they did want a motherfucker who thought different than Ricky did.
They wanted the idea.
Ricky was nice, but then they went home to Killer Mike. You know what I mean? Or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
They heard you describing me. So I said you describing me in my first dating experience.
I gotta hear this.
Yeah, we gotta hear this.
No. I mean,
got the shades on.
No. Don't. It ain't no build up. It is what it is. See, at first, all right. So I grew up in a 2-parent household. So my mom and dad been together. They was always together until one of my parents passed away. But so I always grew up in a two-parent household. So at first, I was doing everything like the 90s videos. Like, so my first date, I used to, there used to be a thing around my old way. It used to be a thing in the mall. I don't know where everybody from, but it was a mall in Voorhees, New Jersey. And it had like a little,
Echelon.
Yeah, it was a thing called Exhilarama. I'm telling my age now. All right. So Exhilarama, yeah, and you know what, we old as shit, you know.
I ain't in all that shit. You know your own time.
Yeah,
I knew right what it was.
You know exactly right. You know what it was. Yep. So it was like, my first date literally was me meeting the girl at the speed line, me paying for her tickets, walking from Ashland Station to the mall, going playing the video games, and there used to be a $2 movie theater there too.
Yep.
So right, you know what I'm talking about. So we watched the movie, went to the Exhilarama, and I'm talking about like, it was just everything was. I was so cool. I thought I was doing anything right and everything. I paid for everything, the little bit of money I did have, and then like on the way home, we was walking like 11 o'clock, 12:30 at night. On the way back, because I'm from Camden, I went right back to Camden. I should have never took her ass out anyway, but that's another story.
Got a few
but
hours.
yeah, but you know, I did well. Like my first day, I was a gentleman, but come to find out, you know, she wanted Pretty Ricky.
Yeah.
You know,
that's the whole thing that I was saying. Like the girls I was bringing flowers to wasn't the bringing flower type of girls. But I thought I knew what the fuck I was doing.
Hey, Herb, you said something earlier about music, right? That's what changed my swag. I was literally doing stuff that was on. I was watching Midnight Love and listening to all the old school back then.
Midnight Love.
You remember Midnight Love, right?
Oh,
yeah. And then listening to the Quiet Storm on Power 99 back in the day. So like
Tony Brown, bro.
Tony Brown with the chocolate sound. So like it was corny, right? But I literally used to do that stuff.
You're right. It was corny.
It was corny. But when I started my thing is, my definition of corny is like being who everybody likes.
Yeah.
That's my definition of being corny. Like, so being like the hard dude or being like the, trying to be too tough. To me, that's corny. But I that's what I meant by saying and doing the corny stuff. I started acting that way because what girls say is, "Oh, you so nice." I hate that shit. Yeah. We can cuss, right? I already cussed.
Oh yeah.
So my dating changed. I became a savage, so I'm pretty sure we all gonna talk about that. My mentality has changed ever since my first date. I probably only dated somebody good or well, then probably I could count it with my hands. Everything else I was being somebody else.
I tell you what, right?
Mm-hmm.
You say your mentality changed since your first date. I think experience is everything, bro. Yeah. I think experiences change like everything. I mean, that's how you get the swag. That's how you develop who you are by those experiences, right? So, all right. So that leads us to the next question. What did you do right, or what did he do right on that first date?
My answer is simple. I respected her.
Wait a minute. Listen, bro. Mm-hmm. You got to tell that, like, respect is there. I mean, from one person to the next, respect means a totally different thing. So
trust in the process.
You gotta tell me what respect is.
Respect
what you mean?
Meaning I didn't take my frustrations out on her. When we out on the date, you see people and you not paying attention to me. I'm the one that's been, you know what I mean? Like, I stayed in character. I was cool. I was respectful. When I believe I had a right to be like, hey, yo, fuck you go, like,
yeah. So she bailed on you during your date.
Yeah, she did some other shit.
She didn't like leave me, but like when she was there, it was like I felt as though like, oh, she only agreed to do this because she probably knew her friends were gonna be there. You know what I mean? Or some people that she knew were gonna be there. Right. So that's what I'm saying. When I figured that out, when I figured that out, I'm saying I stayed respectful. That's what I'm saying. I stayed. I didn't stoop to that level.
So how long did that take to come out there?
I figured that out. Like the movie theaters was fine. We went to the movie theaters, then the Exhilarama. Once the Exhilarama happened, and then you started seeing people you knew, and then
that's when the representative got out.
Yeah. That's when it happened, and I had that side look like, I had that look like, you know what I mean, like,
yeah,
you know what I mean, like,
yeah.
But that's the first time I said, oh, that's how they want to play, okay. But I stayed respectful though. That's why I believe me growing up with my mom and dad, because my dad never disciplined me with anything, and I got in trouble when I was younger. The only time my father disciplined me is if I ever did something to my mom or my sisters. That's how I rolled until further notice.
Yeah, I ain't getting no discipline from my dad. Actually, no. I did get discipline. He left me the fuck alone. But anyway, go ahead.
Chriselle, what you got?
So on my first date was really good. I was 16, and he was 18. What? Yeah. I was
Girl, that's statutory rape.
I was in love.
I'm telling Auntie. Say no, I'm just kidding.
I think if he had moved down south, we would still be together.
Really?
But he's down south and he's married, and he's a great guy. But so I think what he did right, I would say he didn't flex. Like he was very genuine. Like he's a good looking guy. A lot of girls wanted him, but he wasn't arrogant. He wasn't cocky. He was confident, but he didn't flex and try to be somebody he wasn't. And I think what I did right, but I think it had a lot to do with the fact it was my first date, my first experiences. I was just open. You know what I mean? I didn't go into it, jaded. I didn't go into it with like, oh, he's gonna be like this or he's gonna be like that. But like I said, I think it had a lot to do with it was my first date. I didn't know what to expect. So
gotcha. Did you? So you didn't get a representative on the first date?
No, not with him. Not with him.
Nah.
He was a good guy. So that's why I
So
don't
he
know
was
how I
really
ended up.
like authentically himself.
Yes, yes. So I don't know how after that first dating experience, I ended up dating trash individuals afterwards, but I don't know, because it was a good experience. He was a good guy.
Yeah, that happens. That happens.
Yeah.
Atula.
I don't know.
Well, your first date was kind of rough, yo.
Yeah, it was not. I mean, it wasn't rough. We had a good time. We, like I said, we didn't end up going to see a movie. We were like just basically driving around because I was, like I said, about 15, just about. It was right before my 16th birthday, and he was 17, almost 18 or 18. He had a car and a driver's license, and so he was driving around. And we just drove around and talked, and you know, he was a nice guy. You know, it didn't last long, but it was like, you know, we kept in touch and everything, but it was the first thing. I wouldn't say it was anything special. There wasn't anything necessarily that was like done right or wrong on either of our parts, I guess, because I think we were just too young to really put that much thought into it. It kind of was like this organic thing where it was what it was. We just walked around, you know, drove around and talked, and that was it. So it was, you know, it wasn't something that I would think back on and think of it as an example of like dating. It was one of those things that's like, you know, we were both so young that it was just basically kids hanging out. So yeah, it's, you know, it was a good, funny first memory, but it wouldn't be something that I, you know, refer back to as like, oh, this is an example of, you know, how a date should be, and it was so special. It was a day.
And did you like now? Was that a situation where like, you know, you was dealing with a representative, or was that just?
He was who he was. I mean, we had known each other. He was, you know, I think he was aware that I was like this kind of sheltered person, this sheltered girl, and so he actually was friends with one of your cousins. That's how when we worked at TGI Fridays. It
was Swing, wasn't it?
Full
Yes.
circle.
I know it was Swing, yo. I know it was Swing, man.
Y'all telling like a motherfucker, man. Y'all on here, y'all on this podcast telling.
Say who's friends with who?
Government names and all that shit. Just everybody, come on out. Come on,
Man.
they got us.
Well,
They got us, dog.
If you see a girl with finger waves, that's the girl who I was dating, little bastard.
Yeah, I had finger waves on my first day.
Finger waves. Wow.
All your old
finger waves.
I don't remember my first date, but I remember this one time, and Juanita, you was there when we went to Great Adventure, and I took this chick that I had no business taking. Do you remember this? Hard to say.
Are we allowed to have her first name?
I don't remember her first name, to be honest with you. So.
Oh hell, she
I'll
did
be honest.
never make sense why she has left no impression on me.
Keisha.
Yeah, that's it.
So we all went to Great Adventure. What happened? What happened when we went?
Well, first off, I had no business bringing her there because this was one of those girls that, you know, she wanted Pretty Ricky. You know, one of them, you know, and she wanted that, you know, that one night kind of thing going on. Like, you know, that's what she was kind of expecting. And I was over there still trying to be Freddie Jackson, you know, and Stefan Urkel, but I didn't realize that. I didn't know the difference. You know what I'm saying? Like when you a man, like I know for sure, I'm teaching LJ, listen, there's going to be some females that you not going to have to do all that other stuff with because that's not what they want. Now, if you want to deal with them, that's your choice. All right. But you don't take those ones to the family. All right. You don't bring them around the family. Those are the ones that you don't tell nobody about. You know what I'm saying? That's your little, like, that's the side joints over there. Like, you know,
one-on-one.
Yeah, if you're going to do that, that's the side ones. You don't bring them home.
That's
you know what I'm saying? So I should not have brought her home, right? Because afterwards I found out that it was all over town. You know what I'm saying? She belonged to the streets. And I didn't realize that. You know what I'm saying? But I found out later on now that I remember I'm over there trying to like wine and dine and be all cool and buy stuff. And, you know, I'm in the back seat coated up with the blanket. And like one of the coolest things my stepdad ever did, we in the back seat huddled up on the way home. And this guy gonna throw on the R. Kelly Body's Calling joint. And I'm like, right. So he look in the mirror like this. He like, and I'm like, yeah, Ron, yeah, my man. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, later on down the line, I realized
you had to get a shot.
She was playing. That was a total representative because who she really was, I found out 2 days later. I was like, oh my God, dude.
You ain't want none of that roast beef.
Woo! Yeah. Nah. We had to let it go.
I could truly say, I as a married man, I mean, shit, I've been married forever. But I could truly say my wife was probably the only one before she was my wife, she was my girlfriend. She was probably the only one that didn't get somewhat of a representative, like you say, like from me. Not that I was being like a fake dude. I was just doing what I thought was commercially correct, like what I thought was politically correct. You know what I mean? What we're supposed to do. But my wife, she was the only one who got me from day one. Like, who dated me from the first date. She dated me. She didn't date any representative or any politically correct me or any, you know what I mean? She dated me, her.
Right.
So
why do you think that is? Sorry to cut you off. Like, was it something about her?
And,
was it something about her that made you want to be like comfortable enough to like be completely yourself, or was it something in you that was like, okay, I'm ready to, you know?
Okay, you ready for the answer?
I'm ready.
All right. It wasn't something about her. It was something about us.
Okay.
We completed the puzzle. Like,
well,
you know what I mean? She was my missing piece, and vice versa.
like
we were just inseparable from the door. That's just what it was. And it was crazy because I thought past that moment. Like, I thought past the first date.
Right.
I'm thinking about rocking chairs with this girl. After, you know what I'm saying? I'm thinking about some old ass shit. Yo, man, just stir the motherfucking green. Shut up. You know, like, I'm thinking about old ass shit like that. Like, you know.
How long did y'all talk before your first date?
What do you mean? Like, what are you saying? Like, how long?
Like, talking on the phone. Like, how did you get to know her before your first date, or did you instantly feel that connection with her?
Well, for one, and this going to lead us into the next question, which is ideal. What is your ideal date? But first of all, she was attractive, physically attractive, right? She wasn't somebody that grew on me. She was somebody who was physically attractive. I handed the number, said, hey, don't take it if you ain't gonna use it. I'm gonna call you. You know what I mean? We laugh, giggle. I consider myself somewhat of a funny guy. So we laugh, giggle. Boom, she went about her business. She didn't call me for a minute. She had left, you know what I mean? Then when she came back, she went on a trip with her friends, and she came back and she called. I'm a huge Michael Jackson fan. You cannot fuck with Michael Jackson. You gotta leave him alone.
Right here.
I'm a huge Michael Jackson fan. I remember one of our first conversations, mad long, but it was the night where Michael Jackson was reuniting with his brothers, and it was airing it on national television. Y'all remember that? Somebody remember that?
That was dope.
Somebody remember that shit.
That was dope.
So I'm on the phone with her for probably about an hour before that, and we still vibing. And the lights got, dimmed down. It got dark in there. And the boy looked over at the suitcase, and then he flipped the suitcase. I hung up on her ass. I said, the glove is coming out. So, and listen, she tried to call back, and I didn't answer. And she tried to call back again. I answered. I said, listen, the glove is out. I can't talk to you right now. And when the glove came out, that was that. But the thing is that she understood it. She actually was dating me. And I didn't even know that. I'm like, shit, what the, like, I'm really myself around her. Like, damn. Like, it was just too fly. She was just someone who completed my life. And still to this day, it's that way. You know what I mean? She makes me feel happy about things I didn't even know I liked until she presented it to me. That's a different type of feeling. It really is, and I'm really getting emotional right now, but it's a different type of fucking feeling. It really, really is. And I just thank God for her. I thank God I was alive to meet her. That's how deep this shit is. Fuck this shit, man.
So Dana, let me ask you this. When we talk about the ideal date, now this whole idea of the representative gets you to thinking about what it is you want and don't want. I want to add on to this, when was your first experience with meeting that representative, and how did you use that to find out what your ideal date is?
My first experience, I was probably 17. And it started off cool. Like, he came, he picked me up, he met my mom. I was like, okay. My mom was like, she gave me the wink. She said, yeah, it's a good one. I'm like, all right, we're going to the movies. We didn't end up going to the movies. We went to some park. And I was like, is there a movie out here? Like, is there a movie in the park? He's like, no, we're not going to go to the movies. I'm like, okay, this is like kind of kidnapping. I didn't really sign up for this. So he was like trying to kiss on me, touch on me. I'm like, and now mind you, like, we're going to go back. So I told my mom, put me on game, but she didn't teach me everything, right? She taught me, like, oh, a guy's supposed to pay for your date. All men cheat. You have to make sure. Straight up. My mom, to this day, she straight up said, listen, baby girl, you're going to get cheated on. You got to accept it because all men cheat. To this day, she still says that. That is like from like 14 years old up until to this day. She's like, all men cheat. So that's the thought I had in my mind. So I'm already not trusting already because I'm just like, all right, mom said it. For my whole life. And in my mind, I'm like, why do I have to accept that? Like, I shouldn't have to accept that. I don't want to accept that. But it's just like, that's what mom said. But so I was in a situation I didn't feel comfortable with. I didn't like it. I didn't really know, but I also didn't know how to like get myself out of it. So going forward after, and then found out he had a girlfriend anyway. So trash.
Wow.
Right.
Just confirm what your mom said.
Like, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying.
Was it Pretty Ricky? Was it Pretty Ricky?
Hey, Jay-Z said I was just fucking them girls. I was gonna get right back.
Jay-Z ain't say that. Pretty Ricky did.
No, Pretty Ricky did that shit. That's what he did. Yeah.
So,
he did.
It was just a mess. So like going forward, I was like, okay, like I can't put myself in situations where I don't feel comfortable, but I also have to like learn to speak up. I need to learn how to like be more vocal about what I want to accept and what I don't want to accept. But then it also made me like really jaded and really like not trusting of like men anymore. So I kind of took a little hiatus and I became like a little, I'm not gonna say a thought because I wasn't like fucking them, but I was like playing the field. I'm like, all right, if you guys play the field, me too. Like
I agree with her.
Huh?
Is that
I'm with you.
Is that now? See, that's another one that I wanted to get on another topic one day. Is the whole phase? Is that like considered the whole phase? Kind of like.
Yep.
She said she wasn't fucking.
No, I wouldn't say because I wasn't having sex with them.
Oh, you weren't having sex. Okay, I missed that part. Okay.
Right.
Oh, my bad.
She did.
I was.
Cool. We can go here. We can go to the movies. We can go blah blah blah. Like you can keep me company. You keep me entertained for an hour. I wasn't having sex with them.
Oh,
But that's dating, and that's the thing that we don't.
You just terrorize. That's terrorizing the community.
Oh, okay. I was hoeing.
That's
I was gonna say, I had my whole
You had
phase.
a lot of dudes with blue balls. You had a lot of dudes with blue. I don't know if you familiar with the blue ball, but you had a lot of dudes going home with hurt testicles. So
wait.
You were terrorizing the community. That's what that was.
Dana, did you lead them to believe that they was gonna get some?
No, never.
Then that was on them.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Sex with you.
Listen. Can I tell you something? Can I tell you a secret? I'm gonna tell you this is real shit. When you say yes to a date, depending on how you say it, and they mind, you leading them to think they're gonna get the draws.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an adult now. I'm grown, but as an adolescent, as a
young person,
as a young person, I learned adolescent. I got the dictionary right here. I learned what that shit means. The dictionary's all up in this motherfucker. Don't ever.
No, you
disrespect me.
You got the dictionary right there.
Yeah, I got the dictionary, but I ain't got time to be looking up every fucking word you say. But anyway, as a adolescent, as a young man, I really didn't understand what cues were. You know what I mean? And I don't think a lot of us did at that time. We don't, especially when we don't, get that upbringing, or we don't have that side, that mother and father, that balance. You know what I'm saying? That, like King said, the tutelage. You know what I'm saying? The tutelage. You know what I mean? We don't get that balance, and it's off. It's off. So our understanding of you, it come from conversation with motherfuckers that you really ain't supposed to be talking to. It come from watching TV and watching shit you're not supposed to be watching. So our understanding of who a woman is, you know what I mean? And truth be told, like I grew up at a time where a lot of the people that influenced me, influenced me to thinking women were tools. So
Wow.
yeah, that's real shit. But the thing is, like I told you, I knew that loving my mom, loving my sisters, loving my grandmoms, going home and loving them and going out in the world and calling, you know, young ladies bitches and shit like that, it didn't feel right. But I felt like I needed to represent, like King said, the representative, I needed to represent like this because this technically is the way to go. Does this make sense to you?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just telling you from my standpoint, like I was running around and dating at a young age and not being myself because I didn't know who the fuck I was. And you're going to have that when you got a young lady that don't know who she is, and you got a young male who don't know who he is, you're going to get two fake ass, you're going to get a whole fake ass date. They gonna be fake as shit. Commercials and mother. How are you doing today? How are you doing today? Oh, I'm good today. Oh, let me open the door for you. Let me close the door for you. Let me put this there or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You gonna get that. So, King, where you at on that? I mean, do you agree with that?
Well, okay, so there's a lot of different schools of thought when you come to learning how to deal with different people. You know what I'm saying? So everybody's got their own idea on how you're supposed to do stuff, and depending on where you come from, that's kind of where you're gonna get some of that from. Like you said earlier, that what'd you call it? The adopted
adopted perspective.
The adopted perspective on how to deal with things. You know what I'm saying? And if you're around some people like that, that's kind of where you're gonna get it from. Now, what happens is, you know, if you are constantly engaging with you know, just like the fakeness to try to get a goal like subterfuge, then you just like
what the fuck did you just say?
Yeah, come on, man. What?
Listen, it's a family thing because I'm loving it. I'm like,
yo, hold this shit up, dog. For real.
I love you.
Nah. I love the motherfucker too, but listen.
All right, hold on, man.
Dog, what the hell did you just say, man?
Subterfuge. Deceit used in order to achieve one's goal.
Which word tripped you up, man?
Dog, all of them. Just run the tape back, man. Cause this shit is crazy. You gotta stop this shit, King.
Was it subterfuge? Is that what it was?
Yeah, what the fuck is that? That sounds like some come on, dog. I'm done. I'm muting my fucking shit. I'm done with this shit. I'm done. I'm not saying it sound like a fucking cartoon character.
It hurt. It's to attain a goal, I believe.
There you go. Deceit.
It's to attain a goal.
Yeah, something like that.
Hey, listen, dog. Won't you just say attain a fucking goal? You gotta do all that shit, man.
Doesn't sound as pretty.
Huh?
It doesn't sound as pretty.
It really doesn't.
Hey, Herb, I didn't know that until I didn't really know that word before until I heard the song, so I can't even.
Hey, yo, how about you don't know it again? Throw the shit out. Throw the shit out. Who the fuck does that? Who says shit?
There are sapiosexual women out there that every time he says those words, they're like, oh, okay. Oh, what's the podcast called again?
Yeah.
I want to I just want to jump in real quick too, because I had a different experience for growing up. For me, dating, I would see predatory behavior and then flip it on them very easily. You know, I was that chick that was like, okay, I peep game that you probably just, you know, my brother, this is one thing that my brother taught me I thought was really interesting, and it's so true that I experienced, is that you'll meet 10 dudes, let's say, okay, because I'm specifically talking about dudes because the other side is a whole different story. You'll meet 10 dudes, right? And in the process of meeting these 10 dudes, 8 of them probably just want to hit it, you know what I'm saying? 8 of them just want to hit it because you're fine, blah, 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 and they're going to dip off, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He said, one is probably still wants to hit it, but he's going to conceal it and try to play a game long enough to hope that you'll give in to give the draw.
Subterfuge.
Right.
The goal.
And then the last dude, he might really like you, but then you have to decide, do you like him in return, right? Is this somebody, he might probably get one genuine person out of that entire 10. So 10%.
Isn't that human nature, though?
Say again?
Isn't that human nature between either male or woman, though?
Is human nature between male and a woman?
I'm saying what you just described. about the breakdown. That isn't that human nature, regardless of who you date.
It's naturally human nature, but I think for me, the level of which I was getting hit on, and I think all these women that are sitting here in this room right now probably get hit on. For us, you could when you wake up, you walk outside, there's always somebody, something trying to holler, cat calling you. You can't really go anywhere, do anything. You know, I think that's the difference between men being taught to be chasers and we as women, we can just stand the bleep still. I don't got to do nothing. I don't have to do anything. I can just, I don't even have to whistle. Y'all will come, like, smell it out and be on your way, right? On your journey. So for that, what I would do is then with the dudes that would then try to approach me, and I know I peeped their game that they trying to just hit it, I would just be like, I'm going to get this free meal. I'm going to drag it out. And the next thing you know, they fall in love, of course. They'd be like, in 3 days, or usually one date, I love you. I want to be with you. Why? Because I think they were dating. They were not used to dating somebody that wasn't easy, that wasn't, you know, needy. I wasn't clingy. I was none of those things. So for my dating experience was like, I had people always constantly in love, wanting to marry, wanted to win my brother over so they could put a ring on it. Like, those were my experiences nonstop. And it got to the point where I was just like, you know what? If you're going to use me, I'm going to use you for what I could get. It wasn't right. And don't get me wrong. I had a hella bills paid. I had hella clothing. I went shopping. I did what I wanted. I had my tuition paid. I had whatever. And here's the deal. And I didn't have to fuck them either. Wasn't doing that either. Didn't even give up the draws. You don't have to, because what I understood is the behavior is men will chase for the punani. It will do anything until they get the punani. Once they get it, then it's a wrap usually, unless they love you. And love, you show love through action. So what I did, I was just like, coin, let's play this game. You want to play? You gonna walk away feeling hurt, and then they be outside the house, like they would show up crying and shit outside the crib because they got their feelings hurt. That's how my experiences with.
You see why I didn't have to worry about much.
Yeah.
You know,
and so mine was a little different because I was a tomboy growing up. I was a tomboy, and then I got boobs.
I just peeped his shirt. I'm sorry, penis genius. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Go.
And I'm very sex positive, but like I was a tomboy, so I was always used to playing around, being with the guys and everything. Then I got boobs, and then my parents made a big deal about the fact that I couldn't play with them the same. I couldn't run outside with them the same. So when I started sneak dating, because, you know, my parents didn't let me date, I started picking the guys that were, I would probably say, the ones that were probably the ones that I shouldn't pick. You know, just the ones from the city, just the ones that would take me to wherever I need to go and stuff like that. And I was awkward because I didn't know how to be more than just a friend, more than a homegirl. So we're going out and stuff like that, and they think they want to go ahead and kiss on me and try to touch on me. And I'm like, oh no, fam. And that's where I would always get in little baby fights because I'm like, no, get off me. It wasn't until I was almost in college when I started getting comfortable with dating. When I started getting comfortable with who I was, that's when the braces, the glasses, and the jerry curl went and everything. Because I had all three at the same. Girl, I had all three at the same time. But I had the cheap plastic pink and blue glasses at that.
Jerry curl?
Wait.
I had a drippy jerry curl.
You had a soul glow.
Did you have finger waves though? Well, I might know you.
And by the time my senior year came, I was rocking some colorful finger waves.
You had a soul glow.
Yes. So junior high was rough because I was tall, I was awkward, I was a tomboy, but the boys saw that she had boobs. Like I was a D cup in the 6th grade. So it was like, oh, I want to be with her, but yeah, I didn't know how to be with anybody. So I didn't even bring my representative to anything because I didn't know how to be a girl. Like I just showed up at everybody's homegirl.
Respectfully, your representative was your D cups to them.
That's it.
Right. That's a
I
first
mean,
impression. That was the first impression.
But I was scared of boys too. I was scared of the dating part.
Did you ever give the size of your boobs, or he just looking at them down saying D cups? I want to know. Did you say D cup?
I was D cup in the 6th grade.
She said that. Listen, she said that. Hey, look, hey, Albert, she said that's old news, dog. That's old news. We in a whole different era right now.
Hey, but wait a minute though. Dudes don't know sizes. Dudes don't know size. All they say is, her titty's big as shit. Like, yeah. Like dudes is ignorant. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's only a C cup. No, that's shit. That's big enough for me. Shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't give a
And
fuck
then-
what letter in the alphabet it is. Shit, that shit.
And when your homegirl that used to play football in the streets with y'all all of a sudden comes out running down the street with y'all with boobs jumping all over the place because I didn't like wearing bras back then, it changed the game. And then I was left in a very awkward space because I didn't know how to transition from being everybody's homegirl
Wasn't the
to
only one in the
being
awkward space though. At that
Huh?
time. Trust and believe.
She found out when she was playing football. They say, "Oh, she need to be center."
That's it.
No, my dad came out and said, "Air, come on inside."
Mhm.
And that was it. I couldn't go back outside.
When they were tackling you without the ball, he's like, "All right, these boys."
I was like, "Oh shoot!" But yeah, so I never brought a representative till I was in my 20s.
When you finally did have to deal with a representative, did that help you understand what an ideal date was going to be for you?
Well, because I always made bad decisions with men because I liked a certain type of bad boy because I always liked that protection type thing they could give, and they didn't bring representatives to me. They brought ruffians. They brought like
Bad credit. Bad credit.
I don't know because I wasn't thinking about nobody credit in my 20s.
I'm just fucking with y'all.
But they brought their non-tax paying activities around me and stuff like that. I just made bad choices.
That was a really good way to put that shit. Without snitching. Without snitching.
What do you mean, niggas saw weed? No,
you know what? Yo,
employment without a W-2.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a real ride or die in the building. She doesn't tell. All right, go ahead. Keep it going.
Oh no, I snitched now.
All right.
I was in my 20s. I was dumb.
Okay,
she said she grown. She said she grown. She grown. She grown. She don't.
Yeah, she
hey, King, edit that disclaimer out, man.
She said she grown.
She said that last episode. She telling.
But Queen Brown Girl, one of my experiences that I've realized for me personally, dating women is that women like to be treated like crap and they enjoy it. And I've gotten more women by being an asshole than I ever have being my kind, sweet self.
That's my alter ego. That's my alter ego.
Hold on.
Because I'm greedy. Listen, I'm greedy as hell. Sometimes you feel like enough, sometimes you don't.
Wait a
Oh,
minute,
that Joyce got nuts.
I know.
Wait a minute.
Where the nuts come? Hold on.
This took a left turn.
Hold on. Stop it. Stop, please.
But she's not lying though.
I understand that everybody.
I didn't want to go there myself earlier, but she did it, so let's go.
I gotta sometimes you got to pause this. They don't call me elder for nothing. We got to pause this shit real quick and bring me to the understanding room. Okay. All right. Where did we get the nuts from? Where did the nuts come in at right there? And then we went. All right. So okay. So you attract women now, right? Now
I've always attracted women. I've always attracted men. I'm currently engaged to a woman.
Congratulations.
Congrats. I don't discriminate. I would be called, I guess, what you call pansexual. If I like you and I rock with you and I rock with you.
Please.
That is a technical term, and what she's saying is absolutely true. If you want to if that's respectful, that's how you say it.
What? Well, I want to know what the fuck it is.
You like who you like.
I like who I like. I don't sit. I'm not one to kind of go based upon. A lot of people are talking about genitalia, things of that nature. For me, my sexuality or what I'm attracted to is personality. Who you are, really, it's intelligence, it's career, it's ambition, it's you know what I mean, kindness, those kind of pieces. And for me, I've experienced both that and with males who are beautiful, men, like I said, who are gorgeous, both mentally, spiritually, their sensitivity wise, and the same thing for women. And you can't compare the two for me. They're apples, literally, bananas and oranges. You know what I'm saying? No pun intended. You know what I mean? Okay. So, but for me, experience when I've dated women, and I've dated many, many women, my experience is that women tend to like it when they're not treated properly, and they will chase after a person who treats them like crap. But if I'm presented, like you guys were talking about, the girls who want flowers and a person like this, and I'm thinking in my brain that I should approach the situation like that, because regardless of dating male, female, I'm going to be, my kind self. That's naturally who I am. But then when I would do that, they would think of you as corny, or I hate the term when chicks be like, oh, somebody's thirsty. Excuse my language, but bitch, shouldn't I be fucking thirsty for you if I want to date you? Like, that's the dumbest comment that I've ever heard when people say that. I didn't mean to say the B word, but I said it. But you understand what I'm saying? Like,
she was on my status.
When you really think about it, like, truly, if you want somebody to be interested in you, they should be thirsty. They should pursue you. They should make you a priority. They should send you a good morning text and be like, what's up? Are you on my mind? But what women will do a lot of times is they say, oh, they're extra, they're over the top, they're clingy, they're being all this, but then chase the dude who only responds to them once every blue moon, only checks them when they want to hit it, only wants to take them out to dinner because they know they're getting some pussy later on. And they, you know what I mean? They'll chase after that for years, get cheated on 8 million times, but the good person over here, they're like, nah, I don't want that. That's just from my experience with dating women. Men, on the other hand, have always been along the lines of like, don't get me wrong, men are clingy as hell. Don't get it twisted. Men are hella clingy, and they're more of the dudes that want to stand out in the yard crying like, please love me. That you get kind of similar situations, but they don't tolerate the treating them like crap as much as women, I noticed, do. Okay, women, like I said, you got women who've been in a relationship for 10, 15 years, never got married, nobody ever put a ring on it, got babies and babies and babies by somebody, and enjoy getting treated like crap. And that dude that is going to be amazing to them, they call him corny. He corny. Oh, he whack. Oh, he's this. Or they always find an excuse of why something's wrong with him because he don't treat her bad. And like I've spoken about before, one last thing before I sum this up is that from my clinical expertise, who you date is a direct reflection of how you feel about yourself, right? So what most people do is they will date the people that are treat them like crap because that's how you feel about themselves. They don't feel worthy. They don't feel capable of being able to, ascertain to that level because they don't want it. They're not there yet. They haven't figured them or found themselves out yet. So they'll date. I don't even want to say it's not beneath them. They're dating on their level. They're dating on their level. Exactly what they're doing. But they keep talking trash and be like, oh, I want somebody to treat me right. Well, learn to treat yourself right. After you learn to treat yourself right, then you'll be able to upgrade. But you can't expect somebody else to upgrade you. You can't expect somebody else to upgrade you if you're not willing to upgrade yourself. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
I'm gonna go ahead.
You can't put that responsibility on somebody else. That's not fair to do.
I'm gonna go ahead and respectfully disagree on that one. I believe that people, whether woman, man, or whatever have you, and because I mean, guess what? I'm a human. I'm a person. So I believe that we treat people, or we actually attract or search for people who make us feel comfortable. Now, I'm not saying comfortable in a sense to where like we said, like me and my wife is. I'm not talking about that. Like I just explained to you, like that's the love of my life. I'm not talking about that. I'm saying I think people choose people that remind them of what normal is to them. When I say normal, I mean like, all right, if my dad whooped my mom's ass and the relationship was toxic, or let's say for instance, my pops was at home, so the streets was my example or whatever. So the normal relationship in that particular neighborhood, that is what I aspired to have, right? But the thing is like, just like I told y'all, I would use the word bitch. I would, degrade and things like that, right? Because I thought it was the right thing. But guess what? I'm saying it out of my mouth. I'm saying this is what I want. But in my heart, I know it don't feel right. Right? So if you ask the 15-year-old her, right? What your ideal date is, right? It wouldn't be my wife today.
Of course not. Because
the representative, like King said, would be here. You know what I mean? I would be thinking on this politically correct type of way, like, all right, what's my surroundings? You understand? So I would say when a person is not in tune with themselves and they think from a standpoint of I don't know, they're making their decisions off of their emotions of trauma. You know what I mean? They may want that person that brings them back home to the traumatic experience. So that's why, and it's not too far off from, I think, it's not too far off.
I think it still overlaps. It overlaps because it's still the same concept. It's just a matter of one, knowing your worth, because when you know your worth, we tend not to settle for less, right? We tend not to go there.
I'm with you.
But you're thinking one is a connection from the other, like one causes the other, right? That's what you're saying.
I'm with you.
One causes the other. So so the trauma causes, you understand what I'm saying, somebody to not value themselves or to stay in mess because that's what they're used to or that's what they're accustomed to. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's home.
I feel you guys both completely because like I was that girl. Like because of my dysfunction and what I've seen growing up, I was used to a certain, like that was my normal. But so I would chase after these men who treated me like crap, because in my head I'm like, okay, if I can get them to change their ways, that says something about me. But that was lack of self-worth. That was, you know, all of that. So both what you guys are saying is like totally combined. Like I had to figure out something in me and realize like, okay, I'm taking out of my dysfunction. Like I have to change something within me before I'm ever gonna get anybody healthy.
Okay, so I would say in a healthy world, when people are making healthy decisions, this particular or these particular people, what this and that. But we dealing with an unhealthy like people. When you talking about, if I'm talking about women, all girls want is this or whatever, I may be talking about a unhealthy class of women. You understand?
Absolutely.
So
it's all based on unhealthiness. That's what I'm
saying. But see, the thing is that I'm gonna tell you, the broken me, she was the glue. You understand what I'm saying? She was that, and vice versa. Like we complement the shit out of each other. You know what I'm saying? So that's I don't know. That's just what I have to say with that. I mean, yeah,
so,
you're not.
So where
gonna,
do we think
rebellion?
Where do we think rebellion comes in at though?
Because what do you mean? Talk to me about that.
I was raised in a 2-parent household. I saw my parents respect and love each other. I saw my parents date each other. I saw my parents work out conflict resolution with each other. Like I had a very healthy view of love. However, when it came to me being out in them streets, I chose the opposite of what I saw. Like I chose the excitement. I chased that type of thing and everything. And that's where I would stay.
I understand what you're saying totally. Something that we're not used to seeing or used to as a child, that is not fully developed, that is not fully experienced as a person, as a human being that is not fully experienced. You know what I mean? In all areas. We tend to gravitate or tend to want to experience something different, right? So I can understand what you're saying. Well, your personality may be one to explore it and say, okay, let me see what this is. This is shiny. You understand? It's shiny. It's attractive. So I can understand what you mean. If you only exposed to this one thing, it's just love and marriage, Like if you're only exposed to this, that, oh, I love you, sweetheart. Sit at the dinner table. Set the dinner table. If you're only exposed to that, I can understand you want to, because in the hood, we used to, the girls who wore them Catholic school skirts and shit like that, we knew they wanted a dirty ass cat. Because they sheltered from that. You know what I'm saying? They sheltered from that.
Atula, you was in the Christian school. Is that real?
Let me talk to me. Tell us something.
Not for me. Like I've never been one that was into the bad boys. Like you're not gonna treat me like shit. Like my mom raised me pretty much by herself. My dad was in the picture, but he was in the military, lived out of state, and she spoiled the hell out of me. So for me, it wasn't attractive because it was like, okay, you're probably going to end up in jail, and how am I going to get the shit that I want? So it was never attractive, but I could see like some girls, not the ones that I knew that went to that school. I think there was like maybe one or two that were like into the bad boys and did the whole rebellion thing. But yeah, I don't know. But I've seen it. I've seen the whole good girl with the bad boy, but I think it's 50-50. Like there's this big misconception that the Christian school girls, the Catholic school girls, the girls, that they all just want a thug, and it was never appealing to me. Like it was something that they instilled in all of us, that it was like, okay, when you're dating, you should be looking for someone that's husband material. You should look for someone that is going to be a good provider and a protector. So it was like something that was drilled into us, and I think most of us kind of stuck with that ideal and that goal.
We got I don't know what age bracket we talking about now, but my understanding, what my dating experience with women is, women like who they want to like. I don't give a damn what perspective. It's reality.
That was a very safe statement, but go ahead.
Hold on. It's reality versus what you're supposed to do. Like, you could tell somebody this, that, and the third, this is what you're supposed to do. Get this person, get right that, right? But at the end of the day, what people are fighting is who they truly are at that moment. So they will pick whoever we're talking about. They will pick a guy who society deems as the bad boy, and she's the good girl versus versus the good guy who looks good on paper. Like the woman does really have a hard decision. She has to battle who she actually likes versus who she should be with. Or I don't one of the way how you put it. You got
that's both of us. That's all of us.
Now, Dana's saying, yeah. What you got to say about that?
Oh, that is like my life, right? Because it's like,
thank you. Okay.
I got guys who have approached me, and Christelle's my best friend, so I tell her, I'm like, yeah, this guy likes me, but like he's not really my type. And she's like, well, tell me about him. I'm like, okay, like he's got a good career, he's got a plan for the future, he's got his own everything. And she's like, oh, he sounds great. I'm like, yeah, but I don't want that. I want this one. She was like, yeah, but that one, didn't he cheat on you? I'm like, yeah, I don't care. I want that one. Like, I want the one that's like, I'm not. So I want what I want, but society says I should want the guy that like checks off the boxes.
It's like a hope that, okay, I got belief that all I need this guy to do is do something. I don't know what it is. You got more belief in that. Like, all he has to do is mature. He's not that, or whatever, versus you can get everything you want from a guy, but at the end of the day, if you get everything you want from the guy you don't like, then guess who you don't have? You don't have nobody, really.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have nobody.
Mm-hmm.
You got entanglements. But go ahead.
Now
you're
that
not getting what you want from anyone.
Now that you say that, I'm thinking my wife may have turned me into the motherfucker that she really wanted.
She didn't turn you.
No, because I could. All right, I'll tell you this. I did have a mentality. I did have a mentality of being a certain way prior to her, right? And I was a one-dimensional thinker, and I lived a certain way. But she knew I was a good. So I was the dude that said that. Not, I didn't call her no bitch, but I was the one that said bitch. I was the one that said, called my friends niggas and shit like that. But it morally didn't sit good on my heart. So remember what I told y'all, she dated me, who I really was. She dated who I really am. You know what I mean? And I remember one time I said some shit. You know what I mean? It was some criminal shit. But I meant it. You know what I mean? And she said, yo, it's a wrap. Gave me back my key and rolled out. And I'm like, yo, you serious? Mm. And I thought to myself, like, yo, that's not even me. Like, the shit that I said, of course I did, I did subscribe to certain things, you know what I mean, that I said at that time, but I didn't subscribe from a moral standpoint. I think when she left, I'm like, yo, I'm going to be who I'm going to be. I'm going to leave everything that I'm not alone. Mm. And I'm going to be my authentic self. Like, this represent, she know she know this shit is fake. She know that's a fake, that's a facade. This is, you know what I mean? I Googled that too, the facade thing. I'll tell you about that later, King. But look, she knew that this was some fake ass shit. Like, I was really, this guy. Because she got an opportunity to date me. So that you said that, Ira, that got me to thinking, man. That definitely got me to thinking. That's some real shit, bro.
Yeah, and what I'm saying is, the story that you was just telling right there, at the end of the day, she didn't change it. You made a decision.
I did. I made a decision. No, I made a decision to be myself. No,
yeah. That's a difference, though.
No, I made a decision to stop faking the phone and be who the fuck I was. You understand what I'm saying?
I got a question for the room. Since we're talking about, being ourselves, and also, that whole deal with the representative and trying to get to the real person of who it is that we're dating and who we are while we're dating. How do we feel that works with the internet dating phase?
Well, I want somebody go ask somebody else talk, 'cause I can go. I can go with that.
Chriselle, do you do internet dating? Or have you?
So, like, the dating apps and dating sites, I tried once. I tried like Plenty of Fish. I got on there.
Oh God.
And like 10 minutes later, I had like 1,000 messages. I was like, all right, I gotta go.
I knew her face before she swiped left on me.
But you know what?
I didn't swipe on nobody. I was out of there.
Good for you. Good for you. But I'm gonna tell
wait a minute. What's the swipe left? What's that?
Nothing, man.
if you like somebody, I don't even know.
That's
like,
the Tinder joint, I think, right?
Swipe
Tinder
left,
is the swipe,
don't like
right?
somebody.
That's
Swipe
everything.
Swipe left or
Right
right.
as you do.
Yeah.
I know.
Left is bad, right is good.
I don't know, one of them joints. But I tell you what, I was on POF. I've been on POF a few times, and it is great grounds for practice for understanding and reading red flags in people.
In one night stands.
I mean, probably.
Well,
But like there's places like that, like those free ones. That's like Plenty of Fish is the worst. It's a
it was.
That's like Spirit of the airlines. That's like Spirit of dating.
I
But
don't know,
you,
Tinder's pretty bad, y'all. Tinder is pretty
It was
bad.
too much. Mind you, I didn't have a bio. I didn't have any information. It's literally just a picture. Just a picture. And I
They don't read the bio.
They don't read it. They don't
Yeah.
read it. So.
Literally.
Say bio. What bio? Bio.
No, wait. You
Don't
said
read the bio. They look
Yeah.
at
in
Bio.
one
The hell is a bio?
10,000 messages.
That's what it
People
means,
want
bio.
threesomes, marriage,
Bio.
it's crazy. All types of stuff. They gonna
asking you questions you answered in the first 2 sentences on your bio. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And they ain't even read that shit. That's like that's so far to me. Like y'all really. I mean, what do y'all think about that though? Like, seriously, like, what do you think about?
I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell myself
Right.
a little bit, okay? Because
Please do.
I came up in the right when it in its infancy, right when it came out, like AOL Messenger,
Mm-hmm.
Talk City, Web TV, Black Planet when it first came out.
I was in the street.
You know what I'm saying? And and I was a total whore. I'm not even gonna lie. I'll be honest with you. I was like,
Let it out. Let it out, King. Let it out. Let it out.
it was ridiculous, yo, because it was so ridiculously easy. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody was on and everybody was excited and everybody was like, yo, let's go, let's do this, let's do that. You want to do this? And I was just amazed at how many women just wanted to be nasty. I'm like, dang, I ain't even trying. I'm not even trying. And I'm still
All you needed was a pulse.
and I'm still kind of fat, and I was still getting it off. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was before I lost all the weight. You know what I'm saying? I was still kind of chunky. You know what I mean? But it was like, it was crazy. But now you get to a point where it's a part of the culture.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So now, you know, and you still get those people that be like, I ain't gonna do that. I like to meet people the regular way. Okay, well, you know, you can't do a lot of stuff the regular way that you used to do before. Like, you know, if somebody from the regular way back in the day pick up a mobile phone and they used to a rotary, they ain't gonna know what to do. You know, it's 2020.
I got you, man. But at the same time, I guess I'm moving into this elder role because that's I don't get it.
Honestly, honestly,
you really shouldn't hurt. You really shouldn't.
Yeah, you shouldn't.
You're like the last person that should
You
get it.
don't want these
I don't want to problems, but what I'm
to understand it.
Yeah, you don't gotta
I got what you said, but I mean, I got babies, but I need to understand this shit.
Okay, all right. Or for your clients, like I said, I can't think of any
that
other
too.
reason why you
Yeah.
need to know it, homie. Like,
The
other than
world-
that,
No, I ain't trying to bend her. No, I ain't trying to fuck with it.
I'm like, you don't want to die.
Nah,
I ain't trying to.
but it
is
isn't. But it's a part of our culture now, though. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
a part of culture now.
Yeah.
Online dating?
Like somebody sliding in your DMs. Like,
That's online.
100%.
All of that is online dating.
every site that you can sit here and talk to somebody, that's a dating site. I don't give a damn what nobody say. If you can DM somebody and you got a bio, it's a dating site.
Yeah, dating site. I don't know why Facebook even created the dating part of it.
So,
right.
Been doing that.
it has a dating part? Wait a second. They have a dating part?
They have
got
a
it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. What you do is you go on the side, it's a thing of heart.
Here we go.
It's a date.
Here we
Oh,
go.
I don't know.
Oh, I'm in the streets.
Yeah.
Not,
You
but
guys said something
Look, I'm
that
about-
really like made a lot of sense with these dating sites. So it shows you. I think like dating sites are cool to me. Like
It
they're
is.
a lot. Sometimes they're a lot, right? Because they bombard you. Like people get a lot of courage on the phone. That's
Oh,
Yo.
yes, they do.
yes.
And you
I'm like,
constructing
what?
them
You
skills.
would
you
never say
constructing
that
them
to me
skills.
out in the real world.
Telling you.
Oh, Dana, you know what?
Exactly.
Dana, that is such a great point because when we Match.com, do they still do Match.com? Is it still
Yes,
out there or real?
Yep.
Well, me and my homegirls back in the day, me and my best friend Nikki at the time, they have remember they had it set up oh man. So back in the day, they had Match.com and you would get a free trial. You know what I'm saying? You do your free trial before
7 days.
So we signed up for it, and no lie, within just like, you know what I mean? Like they're saying, within 2 hours of making a profile, there's over 100 different messages in your box or your inbox or whatever you call it nowadays. So what we would do was we would just pretend to be people, like, and we would talk about it, and we would be like, who you gonna be today? I'm like, you know what, today I'm gonna be an astronaut. What about you? What are you gonna do today? And we would go out on dates, and we would get these free meals, and we would be like, yo, you know what I mean? Go out and do whatever. We turned it into something entertaining because no person was ever honest. They were, that's what we found out. Is that, you know, or either what they look like in their picture was completely, you know what I mean, was not real. Sorry about that. Was not real what they look like, or what they said they did, they puffed it up and they really wasn't doing that. Or they was living with their parents, or they were just, so we just got to the point where we was like, you know what, this is just a clown. So for 7 days, whatever.
That's past the representative. They just
lying. Because you can be whoever you want on the internet.
You can be anybody you want.
You can be
anybody you want.
Yo, all right, so wait a minute.
You can't use it towards your advantage, though. It's not totally bad.
Yeah.
You can't towards your advantage.
No.
So how do you represent yourself though? How do you what do you tell? What do you don't tell? Like, how do you represent yourself? All right, let's use this question online and even in person. Right, so how do you represent? I know if somebody meets you online, then I guess you're gonna have to like be the motherfucker you are online, I guess.
They heard you tell the truth.
You tell the truth.
You tell the truth.
You tell the truth, but you
Your
also
bio, yeah.
But not only that, you have to be able to understand how what it is you put out is going to be perceived by people. Okay, so you have to realize that. Like, for instance, I know when I was doing the online dating, I started to get rules after a while because I started to see patterns, and then when I started to notice these patterns, that's when I started to break down exactly how to notice these red flags. Like, for instance, I wouldn't. I know the lady's gonna be mad at me about this one, but I would not talk to anybody that didn't have smiling pictures on their profile. If they were just sitting there like this in every picture,
there's nothing wrong with that.
We're the same.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing.
Hold on, representation though.
But
ain't that part of your bio?
But it's part of the representation, right?
Yeah,
so
that's
my
part of your
representation
bio.
is like, okay, I've done that enough to know that there's a higher probability that it's not just one of those, because I had that one time.
What happened?
But there's a higher probability of her not being my type of like vibrant, friendly, funny personality that I like. You know what I'm saying? That shows it off and that you can see it clearly. You know what I'm saying? And it's not like it's 100% thing, but it's enough to make me say, you know what? There's enough out here. I can pass that one, and I'm gonna look at something else.
I had that rule with regular pictures. You need regular pictures. I don't want no dialed up professional pictures. I need regular ass pictures. That's what I used to do.
Those filters are such liars. Lies.
Oh my God.
Lies. You
some of them change your whole.
You see them in person. Lies.
I saw this one girl. Her filter was.
Wait a minute, dog. Listen, who the fuck take a picture that they not proud of though? You know what I'm saying?
I take plenty of bad pictures. I just don't post them.
That's what I'm saying. No, this is what I'm saying. No, listen, but all right then. What I'm saying, you don't put. That's the same. Well, not same thing as a filter, but it's similar because you're not gonna put. I done seen many women that I took the picture at the barbecue. Take the picture. Oh, I gotta see it first. Well, yeah. All right. Well, I mean, well, shit. You not posting up pictures with you in the crib with your bullshit on. So if y'all saying it like that, nah, I don't see that shit. And if I do, I mean,
if you do, what you doing on the dating site anyway?
I'm not on no date. First of all, listen, hold on. I want to implement a prayer in this thing because I want to let everybody know where the Bible at. This is, you don't do that. Don't do that. But anyway, I would like to say that I can't see a woman doing that. You know what I mean? I'm talking from like, the outside looking at, like, I can't see a woman just posting a picture. Oh, okay, I'm gonna show them what I look like in my whatever. You know what I'm saying? On my bad hair day or something like that.
But they do. So you got to think about this. Like, if you're on a dating site, just like when you go out to meet somebody going out, you're putting your best face forward because you're trying to attract somebody to you. Now, one of the things that I do when I'm on dating sites is I will ask for your social media. Like, do you have an Instagram? Yeah. Because if you look at my Instagram, you're going to see all kinds of pictures. You're going to see me without the makeup. You're going to see me without my brows colored in. You're going to see me with my hair looking however it looks. Like, that's to get a little bit closer to who that person really is. But that initial, trying to snatch and get your attention, you're going to get the best version of me. I got to stand out. physically, I have to stand out. So you be like, all right, let me swipe right on her, and then you want to try to get them to find a little bit more about you.
Right.
So it's it's a little balance that we gotta play.
A balance is perfect.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then like
All
one thing
about
I
balance.
would say is, if you're posting pictures on the dating site, I personally wouldn't use a lot of filters.
No.
Like
Right.
makeup, good
Mhm.
lighting is
Yeah.
fine.
Angles.
Angles is
Yeah.
fine, but
Exactly.
also do a full body thing, because there's
Yes.
nothing worse.
Full
Because
body.
I've been
They
fatfished by a
just be
man
here.
before.
They just be here all day, just here.
Yes, I have been fatfished by a man. I thought from here up.
What? Wait a
I've
minute.
heard that
he was-
before, but, like,
Hey,
Wait a minute.
Herb,
What-
Herb, you gotta
what's
listen.
that? I don't
listen.
understand. I don't know what they.
You gotta listen. She about to give it to you,
She about
Herb.
to break it
Tell
down.
me.
She about to break it
Please
down.
tell me.
Break it
That's
down.
why because you sounded like King with these big ass words. But go ahead.
Fatfish, no.
What's that?
This man.
This right
It's
here.
like this man here. This man had only pictures like from here up and everything. From there up, he looked like he was like I like a thicker dude, so he looked like he was a thicker dude. He looked like he was in a good like football player shape, and I was like, bet I'll go out with him. We meet up at the bar, and guess what?
He got
Not
big mama
only-
hips.
Oh my God, he was bigger than Medea. Like
Oh,
he was
God.
big. Man, he had a whole ass. He had a bigger ass than me. I don't have hips. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, wow. And he was a comedian that I met him.
Well, that
out.
shit was funny, right?
No, it was not funny. It wasn't funny at all. Cause I'm sitting here, I'm like,
Joke's on you.
wow.
He told your ass. That the joke
I
was
was
on
like,
your ass
he's
that night.
big.
He's good. He's good.
Yeah.
I'll buy a ticket.
But wait,
No.
Brown girl, I think that also goes to people who be hat fishing, okay? Who look good with hats.
What's
and
that?
it's like, they put
thing.
that hat
Hat
on.
fishing.
Hey, Herb, you gotta listen, Herb.
Dude.
Herb, you've been out the game. Hat fishing.
No, I'm out the game.
Hey, Herb, Herb. Herb. Hat fishing is when girls perceive that a guy, he looks really good with his hat on, but then when he got to take his hat off, he go from
Correct.
yeah.
Push back.
The whole swag is gone.
Correct.
He got the drop top.
Like he's still
Yeah.
holding on. He's
He
still
look like, what's the dude name? Roof, baby, Roof, you know, the one from
yeah. Or he pull it up and it's a whole cone up
Yeah.
on the top.
Man.
The whole cone up there.
Or he looked like he got the George Jefferson. You know what I'm saying? So
But
Yeah.
let's be fair though. But let's be fair. Those women though who wear those tons of makeup and they look completely different from where they have their face made up versus what you thought you were attracted to. It doesn't even exist. It's not even real.
Some don't got
not even
eyebrows.
Close.
Okay.
Some don't got eyebrows.
So wait a minute. Just like all right. So I'm asking these questions because I'm trying to understand.
No
So
doubt.
just like Brown Girl said, now I'm going back in the day when girls get all dressed up, do their hair, shit like that. So you saying that the internet then took this whole thing to the next level? Like you could do the filters and all of that, and do all the this is my good side and all of that stuff, and then boom,
like
you
got
got
a
it.
butt, but you don't got no booty. You know.
Yeah, you can even change your body shape. Like you can make yourself look
Yeah.
thicker. You can you can slim yourself down.
Yep.
Yep.
yeah, man, the girls contour. You know,
And the internet is the devil.
They
I
got
know all
classes
this
on how to do it. They got classes on how to do it.
They got
It-
whole classes
listen.
online. YouTube.
The internet is the
University, brother.
devil. It need to be prayed for. And everything. The internet is.
and listen,
Dating
male,
world is not for the weak.
male and female, they do everything. Yo, I heard. I mean, you're not in this game, but just like if you and a girl is having a sexual conversation, you got to show the girl a regular picture because you can go from an angle and she may thinking you working with something that you really ain't. Like it's a bunch of stuff, man. Like angles are.
Y'all doing too much, man. Y'all
No, I'm
need-
serious.
Y'all
I'm
need
serious.
to go to church.
No,
Can you go to church online? Because that's what the
disgusted
fuck
right
you
now.
need to do.
No,
Just-
no, he's for real.
I'm
Let me-
being
I'm
serious.
gonna ask Brown. I'm gonna ask Brown Girl this because that's a real.
I'm being serious.
Brown Girl, let me ask you this. All right, because I've seen it so many times.
Look at my face.
If you get you find a dude that's like mad cool, mad nice, got his money together, got everything going on with him, and is mad respectful, right? And you say to yourself, there's something wrong with him. What's the first thing you think might be wrong?
Oh, Father God, please
Come on.
don't let his dick be small.
She want-
Exactly.
She
Please
want
don't let him come to this party with a
Exactly.
micro
Exactly.
I do
Exactly.
say that because like you have a good
Yo.
chemistry, you have everything, and then it's like, and here's the thing, and I will say, like, you don't have to be King Kong, but you can't come to the game with a microphallus.
Very, very nice way of putting it. It really was.
Right.
I think that was beautiful.
So basically what they're saying, Herb, is they disrespecting dudes with disabilities.
Yeah. You know what?
You know what? You should be able
That's
to, you should be
fucked
able
up.
to count that
That's
as a
fucked up.
disability.
I'm serious. No, serious.
Everybody need help.
You
Because he
should.
probably get a check for that. But listen, y'all need to stop that shit. Everybody need to change. You need to. I'm not speaking for. I'm not representing.
I'm not bumping clicks with a man.
I'm home. I'm home.
You know what?
I'm staying my ass home.
You might as well come on over to our squad, right? Come on over to our squad. Listen, we got dicks too. Shit, we got pick your side. What side you want?
What? Hey, King. What the fuck did this thing turn into, dog?
No, you trying to justify us you trying to make us settle and accept.
Who's you?
I felt like you were saying y'all need to stop that. Women do not need to settle for microphalluses. Hey girls. Hey.
No, I'm not saying don't.
It's not what we have to do.
I'm not saying settle.
Everybody has a preference, and as long as if they can take whatever goes along with their preference, it's fair game. Everybody has a preference, and everybody's allowed to have. If a woman has a right to be like, yo, listen, I need my guy to represent. If that's what she likes, respect it. Just like some guys got weight issues. Some guys got, like some guys want these girls to be extra thin. You know what I mean? Or whatever. Some guys want the girls to be extra thick. That's their preference. I know some girls that won't date you if you 5'3". Some women like if you over 6 foot tall, like yo, like I mean I'm blessed. I'm 6'2", so I'm good and everything. But I'm saying I've heard these things. Like I know God can be all great, but if a girl like yeah, but he's 5'7".
Too loud, sissy.
You know what I'm saying? Like
I'm girl.
I understand. I'm 5'9", so I get it.
I mean, I don't.
Oh, honey.
Like you know what I'm saying? Like and then
I do okay though. I do okay.
Guess what? And I'm gonna say for a black male man, we got a lot of expectations to live up to in the dating world. I ain't gonna hold you. That's something that I always want to talk about. Being a black male, we got to hold up to every stereotype that's you're supposed to have. You know what I'm saying?
You about to get in trouble.
I am, right? But oh well.
Yeah, you need to go on and pray.
I'm sorry. I feel like Tula is the same type of person I am. Hey girl, do you date short men?
No, I do not. I don't.
I told you.
It's not even that it's necessarily a preference. It's just what I found is that the one time that I did date someone that was like maybe like a little bit shorter than me or about the same height, it was always a problem if I wanted to wear heels. And I'm to the point where I'm comfortable with my height. Like it is what it is. And it would be like, well, why do you have to wear those? It's like you're too tall. And so it's like, I just want to avoid that. So I typically am not, and I just physically I'm not attracted typically to
your preference.
How tall are you?
What's your preference?
Yes. It is your preference.
It's okay. Like I think we should.
Yeah, how tall are you? How tall are you?
I'm just under 5'10". So I'm like 5'9".
Okay.
Oh yeah, see, they don't bother me. So
I feel like regardless of height, tall, short, little, my thing was if you're taller than me, baby, I climb trees. Whatever floats your boat, because understand something, my personality big as hell. Okay, like it is what it is. But I feel like too, if we're too strict on those rules, or we might bypass or overlook your person. Like you never know. I think sometimes we have these this list and this checkbox that we go down, and it's so strict or it's so tight that we won't budge or we won't compromise on certain things. I think there's some absolute no's maybe for certain people, but at the same time, I don't expect people to force themselves to be attracted to someone either, because that's no good.
Yeah, it's not fair to you. It's not fair.
How you meet in the middle then?
I think that's what takes time. That's when dating. Everyone always asks, like, how do you know that somebody is genuine? Time will tell you that, because you can't fake actions, right? Nor can you fake genuine. If they're not real, eventually they will slip up. They will show you who they truly are, because they can't keep up the facade forever. So I think for me, like just what me and my fiance, we courted for months. And I mean, talking about actual dates, going on walks, talking on phone, 5-hour conversations for months before anything major came up. And I think that made a major difference, because we really were trying to work on getting to know each other. But people don't court anymore. People is like, they meet you the next day, you know what I mean? Y'all, people are being sexual or intimate in that manner. And then next, or even sometimes it moves fast and then they move in and together and there's a bomb explodes, because they're like, oh, I didn't see it coming, because you didn't take time to even see who the person was, from jump. So I think time is important.
Now, courting, right?
Mm-hmm.
The courting aspect, right? My understanding, right? Courting can't take place in the beginning, because you got this representative, right? Right, King?
Yes.
I mean, absolutely. You can't court with a representative. Like that's not really courting. That's just being out.
That's subterfuge.
But I think it's still that ability though to be able to say you're trying to put your best foot forward, but at the same time as putting your best foot forward, it's going to take time to realize if that's permanent or not. You know what I mean? Everybody's putting their best foot forward. You know what I mean? Oh, I kicked myself. But everybody's gonna put their best foot forward and do their best, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I mean, when you all right, so I don't even know how to break it down like this, because I mean, when you first dating, yeah, you putting all the makeup, you doing all the whatever, and you being nice and all that shit. Like, yeah, you tell my according to my understanding, when I did my Googles and I looked it up, and I thought that my sites were pretty, reputable, right? I thought that it was getting to know one another. But how can I get to know you when you got to represent like you got a pound of makeup on? You know what I'm saying? You put your Jones up. You know what I mean? Your Jones is all the way up in the air, like, oh shit, this is crazy. You know what I mean? And you got the what's they call the waist Jones? You got the waist thing.
The waist trainer.
Yeah. And you holding your breath and shit.
Or shit or something.
Yeah,
you
holding your breath and shit. You looking like an hourglass and all that shit. Like, that's not courting, because let's say for instance, you know what I mean? When we sitting down eating it and that motherfucker waist things bust. You know what I mean? Now we courting now. Now we courting.
It's courting. With time.
It's courting.
It's
courting.
Well, here's another important thing that we're missing though. Right. And sis, I think Juanita, I think you will agree with this, because it's not only just the time, but there are steps before that. Okay. What I believe, okay, is that the most important thing you need to know when you step out to go dating is yourself. All right. Absolutely. You need to know who you are, what you want, what you don't want. And then after that,
and how to communicate it.
Right. And then you need to know how to communicate it and how to recognize it genuinely in the other person.
I'm with you.
Okay. Let me add on to that. And also with dating, you have to accept the way how you going to judge people. They're going to judge you the same way back. So we can't keep, to me, the biggest thing people make the mistake is like, he got to do this or she got to do that. She got to have that, right? But are you holding those standards up to like for yourself? Like, like the same way how you may turn he or she down, it's gonna be the same reason why someone turn you down. So don't be like, it ain't nobody out here. It's something that you got to do. If you, the more pickier you are, or the more preferences you do have, it's okay. It's okay to have a preference or two, but it's to a certain point when you have. Sometimes you can't have your preferences outweigh your options. That's what I'm saying.
So all right. So now we courting with a purpose. You know what I mean? Like this my understanding. Then y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. Now you talking about courting with a purpose. So what is your purpose? Like, what is your reason for doing this? What is your reason for going out? Are we thinking past this particular moment? Are we trying to get to know somebody to compliment who we are? Like what is the whole point of dating? Are we dating for experience? Are we dating to get to know ourselves or get to know somebody else? Or like, what are we doing? What are we doing this for?
I think that should be established like very early on, because some people are in a phase where it's like, oh, I'm just dating to have fun, and other people are like, okay, well, I'm dating because I'm at a place in my life where I want to settle down with somebody. So if you have those two people coming together, they're not gonna make it very far. So that has to be established very, very early on. Okay, sorry, we're not even on the same page. There's no need to go further.
And that's all I was gonna say.
No, I'm with you, and trust me, I definitely trust Brown Girl to chime in on this one, because I love her perspective when it comes to this. My thing is that what I'm thinking, like this whole get together, this whole situation got me thinking like, all right, maybe relationships have the potential, and I'm using safe words here, Juanita, have the potential to go sour because the correct questions weren't asked and answered during the courting process. What do you think?
Dana, what you think about that?
Well, that's a fact. I mean, that's just what especially now, especially in this dating website era and like society that we live in now, you have to be very upfront with what you want. Because dating sites, like I said, they get courageous. I've had guys say, listen, I'm just trying to have sex. And I'm like, hey, buddy, I'm not with that. And it's such a mutual respect thing. And it's like, oh, okay, like, cool, you seem cool. But like, if we're not looking for the same thing, we're not looking for the same thing. Everybody got to be on the same page. You got to be honest. But I think that also comes with like maturity, experience, and growth. Because I feel like in my teenage years, even if that's not what I wanted, if I found him cute, I'm like, okay, yeah, me too. Grown up then is like, nah, bro, I'm not with it. No, thank you. Have a good one, sir. God bless. Amen. Thank you. Come again. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Like, no.
She said she put a TED Talk on.
No, thank you so much.
Hilarious right there.
You know, even
So,
with David saying that sometimes when people say, you know, I just want to have sex, you can be amazing. The other person might be like, me too. You know what? Let's do this.
Yep.
But as long as you guys are both understanding each other.
I tell you what.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Let me.
Not at all.
Disclaimer is, I really don't know shit that that y'all talking about right now. But what I will say is that Dana, that dude, if it wasn't for his experience, he probably wouldn't have hit you up like that because he might have had people to bite. So yeah, he might have had. He probably had people that say, "Oh yeah, me too. I'm looking to fuck too." You know what I'm saying?
Right. But the thing is so many women that they're not dating. Like women today aren't always dating for their relationship. They're not always dating for marriage.
Right.
Some of them might just be dating to pass the time. Some of them might just want to fuck. And the thing is, like, if you're not giving the person a choice, by telling them and being upfront, like, hey, this is what I'm looking for, this is what I'm doing, and everything, that's relationships and anything going forward after that first interaction is where you fuck up when you're not upfront. So if you're like, oh yeah, I'm looking for a relationship, and then she's like, oh yeah, me too, but you're ultimately looking to fuck, you already started things on a bad foot, and things are going to go left, and it's not going to be pretty.
Yeah, I would rather him approach me and say, listen, I'm trying to have sex. Versus, no, I'm looking for something more, and then you got me entangled months down the line. Because if I'm in the long haul, then come to find out we're never on the same page. So I respect them when they say, I'm just trying, I'm trying to have a little entanglement. I love that. I mean, I don't love it, but I'm just like, hey, thank you.
Exactly. Now I'm not wasting my time.
Exactly. Time's the only thing I can't get back. So don't waste
Exactly.
Cannot waste my time.
So I also want to say something about the reverse side too, though, because how many people say that they're cool with the fucking, I just want to fuck, I'm down with that. Really, they want to long term. And what they're hoping for is that they're going to change your mind. They're hoping that they're going to be able to talk you into it, and you were directly honest, right? Because my issue is always like, I'm honest. I'm going to keep it real with you. I'm not going to lie to you. And then here we are, 3 months in, and your feelings is hurt, and you feeling sobbing in the corner somewhere when I told you straight from jump what this was hitting for. You know what I mean? I didn't lie to you. I didn't play games with you. You lied to yourself.
Yeah, but lying either way, it's because lying either way don't work. You don't be like, don't get yourself, be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this one night stand just so I can get close to people. Like, you can't do that. Like, be like you whatever you want to do. You but go along with whatever you feel. Like, don't do that.
Be authentic.
That stuff. Yeah, like
people have to be willing to hear what you say. Like, if I'm saying like, okay, I just want to have sex, you have to really hear that. They didn't say, oh, I want to have sex, and maybe down the line be racist. No, they didn't say that. Hear what they said.
Well, what people say, believe them, right?
Okay.
And then if feelings enter the picture, like, sometimes people think they can have long-term sexual relationships, but they're not really built for it. And if feelings enter the picture at that point, if you already know the person that you started with already said, nope, I'm here for this, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I got butterflies. It's your responsibility now to go ahead and put your big girl panties on or your big boy boxers on and say, hey, feelings enter the picture. How do you feel about changing our arrangement? Because at that point, something's changed, and now it has to be a conversation, a discussion, and you got to be prepared for them one thing. They're like, no, it didn't change.
So
if that's where you are.
I'm gonna ask you. So is it important? Is it important to really, really know what you want and tell that on the first date? What is it that we do? Like, how much do we tell and how much don't we tell, if that makes sense?
Yeah, how much do we give the answers to the test?
Yeah, do we give it all up, like, boom, right there, like, look, I'm looking for this and that and whatever.
One of them long,
for one of them long ass words.
Yo, it's a vibe, man. Like, the most success I've gotten by dating women, right, is just yo, when you be yourself for real, and it no matter what you say, if it come off authentic, I'm telling you, that shit, from my perspective, that shit work. Like, you just gotta, like, you gotta believe what you're saying.
What are you talking about?
You have to believe what you're like for me to say some shit like, I want to have a one night stand with a girl. Like, I wouldn't say it like that. Like, number one, I have to say it in the most authentic way I can come out with the truth. And when you having that dialogue with that woman, it's gonna come out the way it's supposed to come out. And I think, to me, that's the best way to either get a most respectful answer, whether it goes your way or it don't. But you being yourself, man, I'm telling you, yo, that shit is the best thing to do. Or well, you don't need to worry about that.
No, I listen, man. Look. I knew I was out the game really early in that relationship. You know what I mean? And when me and my wife were boyfriend and girlfriend, I knew, or actually courting, when we were just courting, I knew I was out the game. I knew this is it. Like, this is the one. Like, I ain't gonna tell her how much power she got over me, you know, but on some real shit, I'm out the game. So, all right, I want to really ask this. Are we dating for the moment, or are we dating for the future?
Depends on who you are, I think.
Yeah.
Let's hear from
because you feel like it.
Let's hear from.
I'm asking. It's just a question. I'm just asking a fucking question. That's it. I read that. That's all.
No, I mean, no. That's the answer. Like, I think your question is not it can be summed up within like 67 words.
It can't.
That's opinionated. If you ask somebody who, if you're not in the game, you might not. I mean, like if you ask a girl what did she date, you ask them what are they dating for. If they're honest with themselves and say, yo, I'm dating because whatever. If that's the truth, that's their truth.
No, I understand that. I'm asking us on this panel. I'm not asking a motherfucker on the block or whatever. You hit somebody up on Twitter or whatever.
We have this. I got a homie of mine that, for instance, a homie of mine that his idea of dating is because he is looking for somebody to marry. So when he's dating, that's what he's thinking about right from the jump. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
You know,
okay.
and
that's what I'm asking.
Now that, to me, I don't do that. I date to get to know somebody, to see if I want to enter into a relationship with them. When I'm in a relationship, I will then think about whether or not I want to be married to this person, because we'll find out. That's a different idea. Now, we got different ways of thinking about it. I eventually want to be married, as does he, but I'm not thinking about, all right, I got to make sure that you won't be this type of wife on the first date.
You ain't worried about that. You ain't worried about that right now.
I'm not worried about that. Which is why I wanted to ask Atula, because okay, never mind, let me not snitch. But Atula, why do you date?
Well, you know, I'm not a big dater to begin with. Like, I just really value like my personal space and my time to myself. So I'm not a person that really dates a lot at all. But what I do, it's typically, you know, if I'm gonna date someone, if I see them again, it's not necessarily with the intention of it being it'll be a long-term, I guess you would say, entanglement. I don't know, situation.
Oh boy.
Not necessarily, not necessarily like a relationship or anything. I'm not looking for, you know, us to have his and her matching bathrooms or any shit like that. Like, it just is what it is.
Not even the pajamas? And the matching pajamas?
Not her.
And so
Plants?
I don't know. Tula has one of the most independent personalities that I've ever met, honestly, as far as not needing for things, you know, like that, I guess that people would say relationship wise, she's very comfortable being by herself, enjoys being like, she enjoys dating herself, you know, traveling, going to different countries and can kick it by herself. And it's straight up like, ain't nobody want to go? Oh, okay, I'm out, deuces. And she's on her way.
Where you go for your 40th again?
Bali.
Bye.
You went to Bali?
By herself.
Oh,
awesome. That's awesome.
Hey, listen, I what you just said, sister. I know a lot of people who do that because of where I work at. I see people. You going by yourself, and especially the women. The women, they don't care. Women don't. The women, they go by themselves and go ahead and do them. It is like amazing. It's like I'm like, wow, and I'm like, I commend you. Like they do.
I had a boy like that. I got a boy that used to do. I mean, he in a relationship now, but back then he used to just go and do shit by himself. Shit like that. I understand that. I just asked the question. I mean, I know we're different people, and we date for different reasons. I mean, I didn't know. I indirectly dated to be married. Mm-hmm. That was an indirect approach. Like, I didn't even know I was dating to be married, but I wanted something different. Mm-hmm. I didn't want what was in my household. I didn't want, that type of relationship. I didn't want it, even though, I had knee-jerk reactions that, I don't know, that it was like I was taught, the wrong way sometimes, and shit came out the wrong way, periodically throughout our relationship. But I indirectly wanted something different. something totally different. So I searched for someone to build with. You know what I mean? Indirectly, I did it. I didn't know I was doing it. You know what I mean? But that's why I asked that question, because that was me. And then, you know, the boy that hit you up in the DM talking about he just, you know, want to do whatever he want to do. Like, that's what he wanted to do. You understand? But you can't do that at 70 years old.
Well,
you know what I mean?
I think those
Are you
perspectives.
70?
Huh?
I'm teasing you. I said, you ain't 70 yet, brother.
No,
but I know what you're saying, though.
but I'm just saying, but I'm telling you where I was thinking. I was thinking past, past go. I was thinking past this moment, like saying, like, look, I want to have fun now and make memories for when I'm 70 years old. And it may sound corny as shit, you know what I mean? But I tell you like this, at that particular time, I couldn't sit down and talk to my homeboys about that, because it wasn't culturally accepted. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And like I said, I that's what I was looking past this moment. I wanted somebody who was going to be here, and we actually we going to create memories and moments, and remember this, like, type of shit. You know what I mean?
It hurt.
Go ahead.
But sometimes I think when we ask people about these dating questions, it's very incomplete, because a lot of people, in my perspective,
what's incomplete?
They're going to tell you this. A lot of people are dating, but they're dating scared. So they're going to give you the safest answers. Oh, I'm dating to have fun. I'm dating. It's like, you know, a lot of people do want.
Well, let's hear it.
Find that person.
This is what this platform is for, though.
We only got one perspective, so let's ask the room. I mean,
this is what this platform is for.
Why do you date, Dana?
Well, currently, right now, so a theme that I keep going back to in my head as I'm listening to you guys talk is like dating for marriage, especially, requires a certain level of maturity, self-awareness, just kind of being honest with yourself. So currently, I'm not dating, because my last 2 relationships have showed me that what I thought I wanted one thing, I got it, didn't want it. Then I got the other thing that I thought I wanted, got it, didn't want it. So now I have to date myself and be like, well, girl, what is it that you want? Because my goal, I do want to get married at some point. But right now, the 2 things I thought I wanted, God gave me, and he was like, wait a minute, God, not this. So God said, all right, we'll sit there and figure it out, because you need to sit down for a little bit, write it in the journal, figure out yourself, figure out what your toxic traits are, sort them out, figure out what you want in other people, figure out your traumas from watching your mom grow up and date the guy that she dated.
Know that self. There you go.
It's a very self-aware part right now. So when I start to date, it's going to be for marriage, but I also know that when I'm ready to date for marriage, I'm going to be like the best version of myself to give to somebody. And I don't have time for games. I don't want to play. I don't want to go over. I'm not going to be scared. I'm going to be very upfront about what I want. I might not say it on the first date, because I got to feel your vibe. But once I start to look forward to talking to you, once I start to miss you, feelings get involved, then I'm gonna be like, listen, I don't know what your thing is. We're still early in this. I can cut ties here and just be hurt for a few days. But this is what my intentions are. What are yours? And if he's not on the same page, like, I'm not gonna be mad. Everybody gotta make choices. You live for yourself. So that's when I start to date, that's gonna be like big old.
I'm gonna tell you, I had no examples. I did that shit. I mean, my decision to date for that was out of trauma. Like, I didn't want like the life for anybody that I brought into this world. I didn't want the life that I had for them.
Thanks.
You know what I mean? So I said, you know, I had a child before we got married. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna lie to you. I was willing to marry her mother, even though we wasn't that tight. But I was willing to do it out of the strength, like, I just want to change something. If I can't change my life, let me try to change somebody else's life. You know what I'm saying? I can't rewind the tape. So let me create, you know what I mean, this lifestyle for somebody else. It didn't happen, you know what I mean, on the first, go around or whatever. We weren't compatible, but I told myself, I am not running in nobody raw until I know that this, you know what I'm saying, this is what, because I'm mad that me and my daughter, well, not now, but I'm saying, at the time, I'm saying to myself, like, I'm mad that we not together. I'm mad that I don't even want to be with her. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I want to make myself want to be with her on the strength of my baby. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. I guess my decision was, my approach indirectly was out of trauma. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I do believe in a lot of things that you guys just said. I mean, I learned a lot just now, and I do believe that you do have to search for who you are before you search for a mate. You know what I mean? Because you don't know what you bring to the table, and you don't know what you accepted in your life. You may think you want that, you know what I mean, because it's attractive or it feels good at the moment, but that's something that is toxic. You know what I'm saying? It may be something that's super toxic. And I know one day, like I said, my wife is extremely attractive. To me, she's attractive right this second. You know what I mean? We grown. You know what I mean? But I know one day we not gonna be as attractive as we was, you know, and we gonna laugh about it. You know what I mean? And we created memories that we gonna smile about, and we gonna have that pillow talk to say, yo, remember, you know, when you made a fool of yourself, remember this and remember that. So I just always wanted to, well, not always, but I just, as a married man, you know, 18 years happily married man, I just wanted to know what we're dating for. And when King brought this topic up, I said to myself, all right, well, I'm gonna ask. Now, I'm not trying to make nobody say, oh, I'm dating for marriage, I'm dating. Just said, listen, if you dating the fuck, you dating the fuck. I don't, listen, you know what I mean? So I would know, so when, you know, I could tell my children, like, yo, you got people out here just dating the fuck. They gonna hit you in your DM, yo, what's up? You know what I mean? I'm trying to give you this, you know, whatever. You know what I mean? This is the way you reply to it. This is the way you respond to it, or whatever have you. I know we have different characters on this show, and I know that I'm one to give a lot of profanity. I want to give a lot of jokes, but at the same time, I want to really want not only to come to an understanding, but want my community to come to a better understanding. I want our community to really know each other and accept each other's differences and understand that we ain't always gonna understand. And that was, you know, that's what I always say. That's one of the inspirations of this platform. One of the things that inspired this platform was just like, yo, man, I want us to answer questions. I want us to answer the real questions, not, you know what I mean, what you like to eat. You know what I mean? The fuck out of here, man. Like, really what you want in life. Like
collard greens.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Macaroni,
I just had that shit. Yes, Lord.
Tacos.
Tacos.
Yeah.
I like
I want some sushi.
Yeah, I eat tuna.
I just had sushi for the first time ever.
Oh, I love sushi.
Who said they want some sushi?
That's why I said no pun intended.
That's some bougie ass shit.
Banana pudding. I'm sorry.
Yeah, all that. But yeah, that was the whole inspiration behind this thing, man. Just to get our community to a better understanding and actually give light to this whole dating situation. This ain't even for me. This is for the generation after me, I guess. You know what I mean? Or the generation before us, or even, you know, us that who are single, that's, you know, that's grown and shit like that. To just come to a better understanding of what each other want. You know what I mean? It's not about, you know, what you come out for. And if you get with a dude and you say, yo, I'm in it for this, what you trying to do? Of course, if he want to be convenient, or how you say, politically correct, or if he wants to appease you. Now, I Googled that too, King. I'm gonna talk to you about that word. But he wants to appease you at that particular time. He gonna say, yeah, I want what you want. I was that dude before too. You know what I mean? But it really wasn't me. It was a representative.
So that's what I was saying about dating. When you ask people about dating, they probably don't even really know the answer. They're giving you the safest answer they can give you because they still trying to figure it out themselves.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. So dating is practice, I guess.
Not to mention the changes depending on where you are in life.
Right, yeah.
You know, what you got going on in life. You know, and that's just like even when you go into the concept of marriage, you got to keep growing and changing, right? So who you are today is not who you're going to be 10 years from now. Can your relationship last, you know, and withstand the test of times of those growing pains and changes and personality shifts that might happen? Because
there's single your whole life. You're married. You got
like I know 100%. I'm not practicing. I'm ready. You know, that the last one that I was just in, that fell apart, but it wasn't on me. It was somebody else that wasn't ready. You understand what I'm saying? But I'm ready. I know what it is that I want. I know how to look at it. I know how to see it, and I know how to be myself to make sure that that person wants who I am.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Now, when you get to that point, like
I'm
you
not out
said,
here practicing.
yeah.
I ain't out here practicing.
I'm a little weird with dating right now because I was married for 5 years almost to someone who I thought, to someone who I was like, yeah, this is like what I want. Then I came, it's not what I wanted. So now I was like, I already wasted 5 of my young 20s, my good years, what they say. It took 5 of my good years.
Hey, yo, the 5 of your good years, huh?
Girl, wait till you reach 40.
That's some funny shit.
Used to being young and reckless. I was married, and then so now I'm very cautious now. I'm not jaded or anything, but I'm just like, all right, the next one. I'm like, it's ended with a husband or a homicide. The next one, and
wow,
you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Actually, you know what? I actually could dig. I could dig that.
Yeah, you need a t-shirt that say this ain't what you want.
I got one more in me. I've been divorced once. I got one more in me, and that's it. That's the last one.
Wait. Everybody been married in here before?
Oh no, I have.
Okay. I'm just asking. How about
I made it 7 years. I made it 7 years.
And I was gonna say, as far as my brother's concerned, I ain't gonna lie. It's not house or homicide. I think if anything, I'll step in this time because I'm over it. Like I'm going. I'm over these chicks right now. You know, he's a good dude. So I think it's just a matter of, like you guys said, some people just they will fake it because that's just who they are, personality wise. That's who they are, and maybe they'll never can be genuine because you can't fake genuine. Genuine is genuine, right? There's no way to either you're authentic or you're not. And I think a lot of people are just really comfortable in blending and disguising because it has a lot to do with vulnerability. I think we are all trying to figure out vulnerability, like how to work through vulnerability. And like, you were saying, Herb, like as far as trauma is concerned, all those pieces come together are what makes it difficult for us to be vulnerable and to be our true, authentic selves and to even feel accepted, especially now when you guys are talking about dating in a day and age where everything is about show. Everything is about, face, it's selfies or, looking good, the cars, the flash, everything's about that. It's so superficial. It's hard to find somebody who can be their authentic selves all the time.
I think that's why time is so important because it can show that person is consistent and then it also builds the trust so where you can kind of break down and be more vulnerable. But that only happens with time.
Yep. And I think people shouldn't forget that sometimes, but not even sometimes, that dating, like when I was first taught about dating is you date as many people as you like so you can see what kind of characteristics that you want in a partner, what kind of, who you connect with and even the people who you don't connect with. And like once you get that and you spend the time in it and everything, then you could decide, okay, do I want to continue dating for fun? Do I want to, where am I at in my life? Like me early on, I didn't want to get married. Marriage wasn't something for me. The older I get, marriage is something that I definitely want. So now I date differently than I did 15 years ago. Because now I'm like, okay, now I'm ready to date for marriage. But then, with this part of my life, I had to look at, well, girl, you ready to be a wife? So, it's a lot of different things that dating has to deal with. And I think we always want to put things in such a way that it's a right or wrong way to do it. And it really isn't. It's personalized based on the person that you are. And then you have every right during that process to change how you want to do it.
I tell you what, I tell you what, I hear a lot of, and the reason why, when me and King was talking about this topic, and the reason why I hug this shit is because I do remember before I got married or before I got with her, my dating experience. And I do hear a lot of experiences from others, right? And here goes the last and final question. Do you feel that being a part of this podcast, this particular episode, and or someone out there listening to what we've spoken about will have the potential to improve dating experience? Do I have to repeat that?
I absolutely think so. Okay. I think we kind of gave the real, like, listen, just be true, be authentic, be upfront, be true, genuine to yourself, what you want about, the things that you expect and what you're looking for. And I feel like seeing a group of people on the same page about at least that when it comes to dating, it's like, okay, like that's not a far-fetched idea, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? Oh, okay. Maybe people do value honesty, even if they don't, even if you're afraid to. And if you're afraid to be honest, then you don't really need to be dating right now. You need to figure that out.
100%.
Figure that out.
Okay.
Right?
And I think
you can't be true to yourself, you can't be true to someone else. So figure that out.
True.
we all agree on that point, like Dana just said, but we're also all like in different spaces. Like Dana's not dating. So we're kind of like, okay, I'm independent. Like, you know, I'm cool being by myself. Brown girl was like, oh, I changed my mind. I didn't want to get married, now I do. Or if you're, you know, you're married. Like, we're all just kind of in different stages. So we all agree on that same aspect about dating.
That's what the solution-based community is all about. So it's about coming on one way and leaving another way, if that makes sense. I've never, and I'm telling you, we have several episodes. We got tons of episodes now. Me and King are creating episode after episode after episode, and I have yet to get on an episode or get into a dialogue that I didn't leave with something from. We've just created a moment. We've created a moment that has endless possibility. We've created a moment that has the potential to improve not only the dating experience, but the quality of life in not only just a human being or humankind. I would like to say from the bottom of my heart, and I truly believe this, I'm probably one of the most emotional guys you can ever meet. I would like to say from the bottom of my heart, I thank you guys. I love you guys. And this is the reason why I get into any relationship. I get into any relationship for the end result. The end result may not, I might not even be around when this end result occurs, but the moments that we create together will inspire beautiful life in the end. And on that note, I'm going to really say peace.
Whoa, hold up. Don't go nowhere just yet. This is the king speaking. See, Herb think he the only one that can sneak outros on the joint. But guess what? He's asleep right now. And I've been drinking Monster and popping no-dos, so I'm wide awake. I need y'all to like, subscribe, and share this episode everywhere you can. And don't forget to head right to the website, www.solutionbasedcommunity.com, to check out all the content, all the videos, or use the links to go right to your favorite podcast platform. And somebody wake Elder Herb up and tell him it's time to go to Denny's.